Hello and welcome to a special one-on-one interview. With me tonight is comedian, songwriter, calypsonian, and out and proud thespian, Mr. Leslie SugarBowl Morton, who got his start right here at ZIZ, and as part of our 60th anniversary celebrations, we're going to be chit-chatting with him, taking a look back at some of the fond memories of his early days in ZIZ. Welcome back, Leslie.
Hey, glad to be back. I was just like, what? Songwriter? Who's like?
You forget to do all those things?
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay, I did do all of that. So,
yeah. Well, that's why I'm here, to remind you of the great things you have accomplished.
Yes.
So, as I said before, you got your start here at ZIZ. First of all, welcome back. It's great to have you back in the old stomping grounds.
Yes.
So, how did you start working at ZIZ?
Just finished school, sent out all the applications. You know, I got one in accounting, got between business, maths, you know, so I, do the usual banks, the applications, and you'll get back the responses, we put you on file. So one day I was at, Juggy shop in the village, Juggy? Juggy, yeah. So I was in Juggy shop buying some rolls with ham, and then bulletin board came on, and there was the bulletin board notice about persons who are interested in working at ZIZ. Please send application to like, wait, okay, I'm gonna try that. So I did do it, and that's the only of all the applications I sent out. That's the only positive response I got. The only. So I came up, me and 9 other persons. I think it was an election year, so maybe it was I don't know. But 10 of us were here, and I remember when the manager then, Parliament Manchester, said, so where do you guys want to go, radio or TV? So I'm like, it's that simple. Like, I said, radio. I said, go on over, Mr. Bradley's gonna, like, man, that's it. So that's how we got, basically, got started.
Oh, well, you had it a lot easier than I did. I had a much more stringent interview process, but I'm glad it went that smoothly for you.
It did.
Because we got you on air.
Yeah.
What were some of your first set of duties?
We would do recordings. Well, first you gotta learn the studio. You gotta learn what all this is for. So, preparing you for when you do go on air. So you would learn how to use the reel-to-reel, the cat machines, know where to go. You go in the library, the records, A to Z, So, and then one day somebody got sick. I think it was Cons. Somebody was sick. And so, because, we used to practice to read bulletin board, practice to do the weather and so on. So then Mr. Bradley like, okay, Cons is not going to be here. You're going to do the 8 to 12. You're going to say the time check, the name of the song, and that's it. Oh, the station ID. So you have to write it down. So I used to got to write down the time is 9 o'clock. That was Barry's Hammond with, so I had to write it down. So I'm opening the mic and I'm reading, the time is 9 o'clock. That was Barry's Hammond, My Sweetness, and so on. This is ZIZ Radio, but I just couldn't do that.
What do you mean you couldn't do that?
It's like, no, after a while I was like, no, this is too boring.
Okay.
It was just too boring. Like, so one time I remember talking about a song, and then Mr. Bradley calls, Leslie, what are you doing? No, time check, name of a song. Like, but Mr. Bradley, that's so boring though, Like, no, but, and then person will call and respond, so me, I didn't even know that what the song was saying. I just like hear this song, I may know the song saying this and this. And I just went with it.
Okay. So basically, you injected some of your own personality into it, and it was a hit, apparently.
Well, correct. Well, for some people, because a lot of people, because your customer always is listening, just the music and a little talking. So for some people, like, this was new to them. I can't hear the song. I'm talking to the whole song, boy. And then some will be laughing, like, so this is why you're killing me and so on. So I tried my best to please everybody. Like, played this genre. Imagine that being fast, Wailers, and then somebody want to hear a love song. So it's like, then after a while, like, no, I can't play. There's no way I could please everybody. So I had to just end up doing me. And yeah. But being at ZIZ, it was a little more like everything used to be timed, because there's the news at this time, then 15 minutes later there's maybe bulletin board, and there's, you know, so everything had to be timed. When your commercials then from the log, and you know, write it down, and so on and so on. And it was a pretty good experience, because for what I'm doing now, all that learning is still here. I still use it. You know what I mean? And being here at ZIZ, I remember when Bouncing Williams, he contacted me. He said, "Boy, you're very funny, and I feel you could be a good actor." And asked me to come around to join the national players and so on, and tried out for a play, and I ended up being the lead actor in a play.
Oh, so that began your acting debut.
Acting, yes.
Your acting debut.
One of our sons is missing.
I remember that. I
Yeah.
went to show to one of the
He was
showings.
a young boy, a homosexual boy, and you know, he ended up with AIDS and so on. And listen, Jason, I'm backstage, and there's the scene where I die in the play, and there are persons in the crowd crying. Oh my God. I got, like, I backstage, I said, "Both people out there crying." He said, "I mean, you did a good job." Crying because I died, like that's something you see on TV. Because I just cry when I see them kind of things happen on TV. So I was like, wow. Listen, I couldn't believe. And we had to do it like for a whole week. Every night somebody cried.
And all of that strength of personality, would you say, was cultivated here at ZIZ?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Because like I said, Mr. Bradley used to be the warden to keep you in line. Of course, the other announcers like Veer and Kans and Theo and all them, we still give you advice. You know, you're going good, you know, but you need to do this, you need to say that, you need to, you know what I mean? So I gotta give thanks for being able to come up around those guys, because it's like I got a little piece of all of them. You know what I mean? Like when combine all the...
You're Captain Planet then, basically.
When all your powers combine. So,
Well,
yeah.
You kind of just segued into my next question. You mentioned Veer, you mentioned Kans, you mentioned Mr. Bradley. Were there any other notable persons at ZIZ that helped to shape your growth?
Of course, El Green, the Main Machine. All of them. Jazzy, the one who used to like make me understand the older music. You know, she loved the old music, and she used to make sure, Leslie will like this one, check this one out, you know what I'm saying? And she helped me with the bulletin board, reading, you know, everybody. Not to mention the people who would call, the fans and so on, the listeners. Val Henry, I remember having a training session one time. He trained us, and he saw the potential in me. You know, he had saw the potential in me. One of the things that stood out with me though, he asked me where do I see myself in 5 years? I was like, you know, when I'm on, the whole nation listening, I'm one of the most popular guys. I say, let me tell you something. Popularity does not pay the bills. And the bell went off, because it really doesn't.
So true.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Because even today, people will be like, you're a celebrity. It's like, no, celebrities got the money. Just popular. A lot of people know me. Because if I was a celebrity, you know, it's a whole different thing. But that stood out for me, and kind of changed my path in terms of capital. And even the Main Machine tell me I was the UA. So try to make as much money as you can now. You're the popular man, you know what I mean? So then I started to think of like how I could make money from this, from being popular. And Village Rama is the first person that, well, other than Bouncing Williams, Village Rama was next in line, called me to MC Village Rama. And I remember I used to play this song from Obstinate a lot, which I long got this sweetest SugarBowl. Ladies, them loved it. Loved the songs. I used to play it all the time and so on. So they asked me to MC, and I'm like, sure. I can't be as bad as the MC I saw the year before.
Ooh.
He was cracking up in the middle of his jokes, so we didn't get the jokes. He's like, any man, go out. So I'm like, no man, I can't be that bad. So I said, all right, I'll do it. So then, them times you used to put the posters down on 4th Street. by Scary's Drugstore, I think. Yeah. So I pass down and I see the MC, the Sugar Bowl Kid. Who's that guy? So I call directors like, I thought you all want me to MC the show. You know, it's like, yeah, you name them, man. You know, you like the song, and you know, so we just put on for a little, you say why? Effect. I don't know, like to drop people in. So like, okay.
So wait a minute, you mean to tell me that you did not give yourself the name Sugar
no.
Bowl Kid?
No. I was so angry, like, wait, what? Because the song said, which island got the sweetest sugar bowl? Sounded to me like it was talking about ladies with the sweet, sorry, yeah,
Yes,
right?
the nasty cough, yes.
Yeah. So, I actually didn't like it. And then I noticed the ladies would say, hey, sugar, sweetness, like, oh, okay. That's good work. The guys didn't like, why is a joker, you know, it's a sugar bowl, like, yes, a bowl in your house that contains sugar.
Of course.
You know?
What else could it be? It's a sugar bowl.
So, and that's how it just stuck. And of course, with the age, the kid fell off.
So you're no longer the Sugar Bowl Kid.
Kid, no.
You're just Sugar Bowl.
Just Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. Wow. So you now an MC as well as a radio personality. How did your life change after becoming more known? Let's put it that way.
I don't know. It's still the same old. I just have to be nice to everybody. I feel like a politician. I do feel like a politician at times. You just got to be nice to everybody. Even though sometimes some people make it very difficult for you to be nice. You know, they say some real stuff that, you know.
People will be people.
Yeah. So, but it really didn't change me much. I was happy to have my friends listening. I remember when I used to say, I just beyond ZIZ at night, tell me I should listen. Oh, I mean, listening to Dead I Dead. Then after a while, though, hey, last night you were killing me, you know, like, okay, got my friends I'm listening, all right, you get in there, But the popularity really didn't change me much, because like Val warned me, it doesn't pay the bills. So, yeah.
What would you say was your most memorable experience? Let's talk about the greatest moment you've had at ZIZ that really sticks out in your mind.
Karen and I were just talking about it a while ago. It was that this is the 60th anniversary. Why? Which anniversary was that? By 30th?
Could it be the 25th?
Oh no! Boy, something. But we had a show. We had a show, modeling and singing, and I think that is what really make people see that boy is a poppy show. Yeah, because I mean, I visioned what I would say, visioned what I would do, but I didn't know what the responses were gonna be like. Because when you're doing comedy, you're as good as the people them laugh. Cause you could, and the man walks up and boom, crickets. But then sometimes you say stuff and people like, oh my God, stop. So anyway, I envisioned it and it came off really good. And I see Jacinta with Martin, I see Karen can't hold she breath. And after that, I like, making people laugh is my thing. Yeah. And I think, like somebody was asking me last night, I said, I think that came from watching a lot of TV. A lot of imitating persons, imitating like, hey, do the whole call gun. Here, brother, take your vitamins, man. Do they want you, Yeah, people like, Leslie, do they, So I would imitate people, even imitate teachers, So I was always like that in school. So I just put it out on the radio.
And it seemed to have worked for you.
It seems, because I was telling somebody the other day, after 20-something years being on the radio and still be relevant today, that's pretty cool. Because after a while, people get fed up of you, you know what I mean? And even now with the Hoswards commercial, it's like I'm sort of reborn, because now the children know me again. When I was younger, children used to know me. I used to be on ZIZ, I used to be on the TV and so on. So children used to know me. But then the show went off, and now, so now I can't go to my son's school without hearing about these ads or SugarBowl. I used to go good before the ads come out good. The kids, they really know me. Teachers don't know me. But now since those ads, like I'm reborn.
If reborn indeed. Okay, so we've talked about the happiest moment. What would you say was your greatest challenge here at ZIZ?
Challenge. Only like when we have like hurricanes, you gotta come in. Yeah, like it's a hurricane, everybody stay home. We don't. So sometimes I'll have to leave home, walking over, stepping over lampposts and trees, going to trees and so on, just to make it to ZIZ, just so we could be on the radio, just so we could be on air to inform people. And since that, like that kind of instills something in me that we have a responsibility. So even with the COVID thing, I remember Juni asking me, saying to us, Lord, guys, you don't have to come in. You know, if you're scared, if you're, then like Juni, no, we have a responsibility to the people. We got to keep the people entertained and informed. And so, with me doing that at ZIZ, I mean, if you can come during a hurricane, why can't I come during COVID, just wear your mask, sanitize, come on in and inform the people. And also, responsibility, because with the lockdown, mentally, you know, a lot of persons be messed up. There's the quietness, they can't go outside, you know what I mean? So I had to find ways to make them laugh, to make them think, to give them something different away from the monotony. So I felt like it was my responsibility, and all that I feel like came from working at ZIZ. You know, like it's not just about entertainment, it's not about, you know, it's also about educating and informing at the same time.
If you had any words of wisdom for the younger DJs or radio personalities that are out there, or persons who want to get into the field, what would you tell them?
Get training. My first set of training came after 4 years being at ZIZ. Carrie Mack, we went to that one summer. I think Juni was the manager at the time. And went to Carrie Mack, and Jason, stuff you were doing on the radio, were doing them all wrong. And I felt so terrible, you know? So I would tell her, how you all do it? She asked, how you all do it? So when I say, she's like, no, oh my God, you know? So after that, that definitely opened me up in terms of enunciating. That was an eye-opener for me, going to Jamaica for that summer, and that helped me out a lot. And also went to Taiwan as well. That helped me a whole lot again. But get yourself trained. You can't just, you could play music, you know what I mean? But some people can play music but they can't read. And so, even though you're talking and you're entertaining and so on, there comes a time when you have to tell people about hurricanes, there's a time you tell them about
COVID?
Yeah, there you go. So, get yourself trained if you want to get into the radio field. It's not just about playing music. Anybody could play music. The computer could play music. You know what I'm saying? But get yourself trained, and then hopefully the personality is something that you can make it up. You have to have it. You have to have the personality. And working with you, you know, we even sometimes crack up each other with, Jason,
why?
Stop it!
Why you have to put a shh? You're not supposed to know about that.
Yeah, but yeah, get trained.
In a previous interview with Juni Liebert, I asked him regarding the quality or the standard of media persons right there. Do you find that it's going downhill? What's your take on the standard of media practitioners now?
Yeah, I feel like it's going downhill for real. I think it's lack of training. It's like you want a job, somebody hire you, and you're in the field one time. Like for me, I'm sure it took me a lot of months before I opened the mic. I was up here quite a few months doing all the things behind the scenes, recording stuff, listening back to yourself. Like, nobody likes to hear themselves. Nobody. Even when I started doing commercials and I'd be driving and the commercial come on, like, bow, I'll turn that off, like, ooh. You know, so Bradley used to make us record it, play it back, you listen, critique yourself and so on, which is very important. So I don't feel like, sometimes I listen to these, I'm like, oh, God. You know, like, did you get trained, you know? If you get trained, a lot of the things that, you know, that's happening wouldn't happen. Even when they go to the press conference, they can't even structure a proper question. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, I would say, to me, it's going down. Maybe it's the job is not lucrative, maybe not a high paying job, so a person's really not putting much into it. But to me, if you like it, because me, I absolutely love my job. Sometimes I'd be like, I can't believe I'm getting paid for this. You know, I absolutely, Jason, I'll be sick. I want to go instead. I'll be sick. If you check my stats at ZIZ and you check my stats at Freedom, the sick days, them are very limited. Very, very limited, because like I said, I feel like I have a responsibility. The persons need that medication at mornings to, you know, have a little laughter, something to brighten up the day, something to get their mind off stuff, you know, get the mind off the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the husband, the wife, whatever. And I feel like I have a responsibility and I enjoy it, Jason. I don't know how much longer I have in here, but as long as the people here love me, I ain't going nowhere.
And the people do love you, I can tell you that.
Yes.
So, you mentioned that you feel that persons definitely need to get trained, and you feel that core basic training might be lacking. Do you find that okay, let me start off with a different question. Do you find that media persons aren't respected as much as they should be?
Oh yeah. And like with via them days and so on, them, like, you had to respect beer, the beer and rebop and so on. You had to. When you see beer and rebop, them asking a question, because they always articulate properly. They always the questions are, you know, to the point and so on. Sometimes these persons who ask questions, even the persons that asking to the question too, they don't want to embarrass them, but like they gonna say like, what stupid is he asking me? You know what I'm saying? So you don't get that respect, because respect is earned. And if somebody, you're asking, like, you're asking me questions, I could tell that you did your research. I could tell that you I mean, even though we work together, but sometimes the person asking the question haven't done their research. So sometimes the person who answering say, well, first of all, that is incorrect, that is not right, and, you know, and put them in a place, and then say, if you mean to ask me this, then I will tell you. Yeah. So do your research, and but yeah, I don't feel like they're being respected, because they didn't earn the respect.
That's a very succinct way of putting it.
Yeah.
So to sum up though, what would you say are some of the biggest lessons that ZIZ has taught you?
Wow, prepare. Gotta prepare every time you go in an ear. I used to gotta go in the studio, take out my records, because it was records them days. Take out my records, have my records them, and put them back up, put the CDs back up, the cassettes and so on, put them back up, so you can't, it ain't just come walk and it just off the fly. Prepare yourself mentally, and I always do that. It's so crazy that every time I do a show, every time, MC a show, even when I was coming here, I was doing my facial exercises, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, she says seashells on the seashore, just for the THs and so on. And that also came from National Players Movement as well. They will teach us those things. So I always, from the time you asked me to come here, I know how to dress properly. I know how to look at least good enough for the camera. I even wanted to go get my face done, because you have to prepare. You have to be prepared. So that's the ZIZ. Yeah, taught me that.
What would you like to see for the future of ZIZ?
More entertainment. Because when I was here, one of the things I started was a SugarBowl show where I would go out into the local community, record sports, record track and field, football, dance. More people seeing people who they know, you know. So that was my vision. I did it all on my own. I did the shooting, the editing, putting it all together, and still hosted the show. So I know people like that. Being able to see the grand trial run, being able to see somebody score a goal, being able to see their friends, and so on. One of the things I'm happy to see at ZIZ is the fact that it's now international. Everything is online and so on. That was one thing I would have liked to see when I was here, but now it is happening, so I'm happy to see that. But I would like to see more local content, more and more local content.
Now, hopefully we can get you involved in some of our programs once we do start producing more local content. Well, we are almost out of time. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming. Is there anything you'd like to say as a final word?
Just thank you for the just calling me and letting me be a part of it, to be not forgotten as one of the persons who worked here. I really appreciate what I've learned here, all the persons here who have passed on their knowledge, and I have zero enemies here. Everybody who I worked here with still love me, still check on me, as to Karen, Jazzy, Via, even he be with my Jason Carly. So yeah, man, everything all right. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's my pleasure. I couldn't say no, and yeah, just happy to be here.
And we're very happy to have you back. Yes. Thank you very much. I have been speaking with the comedian, singer, songwriter, calypsonian, radio personality, and sometimes footballer, Leslie SugarBowl Morton, one of our early pioneers, I could say, and biggest radio personalities here at ZIZ. We've been looking back at some of the fond memories of his early days here at ZIZ, all part of the 60th anniversary of ZIZ Radio. I'm Jason Davis for One on One.